if the applicant or the owner, the school, or someone else, a neighboring property owner, or someone else in the community, or connected to the project in some way. So let me start with Mary Helen Weber, who I believe is a neighboring property owner. Ms. Weber, if you could unmute for me.
Yes, I have adjacent property, and the only reason I'm here at this hearing is that I got the green card notification about this, and I was having difficulty trying to find out what exactly the school had planned to do. And as of this morning, one of your staff sent the staff report, and unless I hear something surprising, I don't think there's any problem with what they're intending to do, but I'm just here kind of for informational purposes.
Okay, great. So that makes sense. I've got you checked in here, and I'm going to go over the procedure for the hearing in just a minute, where we'll give the applicant an opportunity to tell us about the project, and if you would like, after that, you'll have a chance to respond. But I've got you checked in here as a neighboring property owner. I'm glad you were able to join us today and received hopefully that staff report from Cassandra.
Yes, and I might add, I have to leave at 1:45, but I assume you might be done by then.
Yeah, we have the hour blocked off here for the hearing. We will, I'll be sure to get your input before that time, if for any reason it does go longer than that 45 minutes, or we anticipate it'll go longer. So thanks for being here. Moving on to Ms. Sedler, Jody Sedler.
Yes, Jody Sedler, President, St. Ursula Villa. And I also have with me here Heidi Huber, who is our Director of Operations.
Okay, great. Welcome, Ms. Sedler and Ms. Huber. Is Huber H-U-E?
H-U-B-E-R.
Okay, great. And someone else?
Chris Hudipole Construction, our contractor.
Great. Welcome, Mr. Hudipole. All right. Yeah, I don't know if all of you will be speaking during the hearing, but if you are, I'll just ask that you just move the camera to face whoever's speaking at that time, and you just speak one at a time. But welcome to each of you. I see that we also have Matt Lascheid here, who is a zoning plans examiner with the planning department. Welcome, Matt.
Thanks, David. Hi, everybody.
And Steve Corte has joined us as well.
Yeah, Steve Cordy with the Kleinger's Group. We're civil engineers working with the school on the project and previous projects.
Okay, great. On the school applicant owner side, are we expecting anyone else to join us here before we get started, or are you ready to begin?
We're texting right now our architect who actually submitted the to you, Jim Kaiser, representing Emboss Design.
Okay. Would you like to wait for him before we get started, or do you want to begin and I can let him in?
We're okay to begin.
Okay, great. So like I said, I need to read through the hearing script here, which again, we'll just cover the procedure for the hearing and then we can get started. So this is the March 19th, 2025 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is David Sturkey. I'm the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the city. I'll be presiding over the hearing. The case before us today is case number ZH20250014. That's for 3660 Vineyard Place. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any other parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the Zoning Hearing Examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing unless there has been some written testimony or written correspondence provided prior to this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. For our purposes here today, I'll allow everyone in the room there with Ms. Sedler and Mr. Cordy speak at that time. One of you can speak, all of you can speak. It's really up to you how you want to orient your presentation. Typically during that time, applicants will tell me about the project, any background they think is important, exactly what it is they're proposing to do, the zoning relief that they're requesting, to accomplish that. And then, of course, why they think that zoning relief is appropriate for this project. I'll then move to the public. If anyone from the public, including Ms. Weber, or if anyone else joins us, would like to provide testimony or ask questions at that time, I'll allow them the opportunity to do that. I'll then move to the planning department, allow Mr. Lashai to provide any testimony in addition to his staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond to that testimony provided in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. In the event of any technical difficulties with the Zoom technology, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those issues on the fly. To the extent there's some defect that prevents us from me fully going forward this hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay. The last thing I need to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. And before I do that, I'll welcome Mr. Kaiser. Mr. Kaiser, if you can hear me, we are just about to get started. Just want to make sure, just confirm, in fact, that you are Mr. Kaiser, and I believe that you are at Emboss Design. Is that right? And if you could just take yourself off of mute. Mr. Kaiser, we cannot hear you. You need to take yourself off of mute.
There we go. That is correct, sir. Sorry.
Okay, great. Yep, no problem. I'm the zoning hearing examiner, so I'll be administering the hearing today. I believe you've been through one of these before, so you may be familiar with the processes, but we're just about to get started and talk about the project. So before we do that, though, anyone that's going to provide testimony needs to be sworn in. So I'm just going to collectively do that for everyone here. So if you intend on providing testimony, Ms. Weber, if you're not sure if you're going to provide testimony, I can always swear you in later. But anyone that knows they're going to say something here, if you could please raise your right hand, take yourself off of mute, and answer out loud. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
I do.
Great. Thanks, everyone. All right. Who's going to be taking the lead here on telling us about the project?
Jim,
I can-
would you like to just go first, or do you want to start?
Go ahead, Jody.
Okay. So as presented in the report, Senior Slavilla would like to construct a 22 by 45 addition to our current multi-purpose room. And the purpose of this is for a kitchen to prepare and serve lunch to our students at St. Ursula Villa. Currently, we do have to provide vendor, bring in fast food for the children for lunch. So this will be able to provide healthy lunch options to our students at St. Ursula Villa. Jim, would you like to provide any other details?
Just to clarify or elaborate, what's the construction of it? It will essentially match the existing appearance of the adjacent building. So brick veneer, roof slope will match, roof shingles will match. So it'll be, architecturally speaking, it'll be very in keeping with the existing structure.
Okay. Could you tell me more about the size, dimensions, and location of the proposed addition?
So as Jody said, it's about 24 by 40. It is
22 by 45.
Sorry, I'm not at my computer. We got construction in my office. I'm not on my computer.
Sure.
So
Is it
22 by
one-story
45.
addition?
I'm sorry.
Is it a one-story addition?
It is a one-story with a storage space below it.
Okay.
And it's immediately adjacent to what was, I would say, a kitchen at one point, but not a full-blown commercial type kitchen.
Okay. Let me go ahead. I'm just going to share my screen briefly for everyone's benefit here, who may not have had a chance to review all the plans, and just confirm as we look at the site plan here of the school. Mr. Lashai has circled here. Is it just this area in gray that's the addition?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So this won't obstruct any sight lines or really be highly visible from off the campus. Is that a correct assessment based on this location?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually sits down kind of a lower point of the campus.
Okay, got it, got it. And is this Vineyard, this is Vineyard Place here, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right. Let's see. I think that's all the questions I have now. Anything else you want to tell me about the project or why you believe the relief is appropriate?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Ms. Weber, did you want to make any statements or ask any questions about this?
I had one question. Why do they need permission to do this?
That's a great lead in to the planning department staff testimony. Matt, can you shed any light on why this relief is required?
Yeah, it's a great question, Ms. Weber. So the property is zoned single family residential, and a school is a conditional use in a single family residential district, which means that there's a hearing required if somebody wants to open a new school or expand their current school. Reason for that is it, in a single family district, it could often be adjacent to homes. And sometimes schools expand in a way that could have an impact on residents that live nearby. If the school wanted to build a new football stadium or something and it was right behind somebody's house, people living there would want to know about it, and we might have some zoning concerns about that. But this is a very small addition, but technically it is an expansion of that use. So that's why this hearing is required. But as outlined, the addition is very small, and Mr. Sturkey, you pulled up the staff report with the map, and I thought it was interesting to note that the addition would not be closer to any property line than the existing building, because it's like in the middle of the building. The building wraps around it, so as you noted, nobody would really even see it. But technically, it's making the school bigger, so that's why the hearing is required. The property is also within the Hillside Overlay District, but the scope of work is minimal enough that it complies with all the regulations of the Hillside Overlay District, and no hillside relief is required. So we look at, the standards for conditional uses. Is it appropriately designed and configured? Yes, it's in the middle of the building. It's not even going to be visible, and there's no negative impacts that are anticipated as a result of this addition. Sounds like it'll be positive for the school and the students, and staff is happy to recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Lashad. Appreciate that. Ms. Weber, any other questions or testimony based on that answer?
No, thank you. I have no other comments.
Okay, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Okay, let's turn it back over to the applicants here. Anyone on the applicant team? Anything you want to say in response to Matt's comments, or anything else in closing or otherwise before we adjourn?
I have nothing further.
No, thank you.
Okay, great.
No.
Okay, I think we'll leave it at that. I'm sorry. We have Nadia Butcher. Are you with us?
I am, thank you. I had another meeting and I arrived a little bit late, but I was only meant to listen in as an observer. I am
Okay.
parent with the school and involved in some of the building and grounds activities on the property, but I'm simply just here as an observer.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Thank you. I think we will leave it at that then. I've had a chance to review the application materials on this. I think as Mr. Cordy mentioned, there was a previous zoning approval that I did on for this property, so I'm familiar with the layout and the surrounding development and community. I think that based on the application materials, the staff report, and the testimony that I've heard here today, it would be impractical to strictly enforce the zoning code to this particular application. And so I am going to approve the request. I need to formalize that approval in a written decision. That typically takes about 2 weeks, as I mentioned at the beginning. I'll do everything I can to get that out to you as quickly as possible. As soon as I finish it, I put it into a PDF and I'll email it to everybody in the hearing, so you all have it really just moments after it's complete. When Matt sees that email, he can approve the zoning permitting on his end, and you all can take the next steps. Any questions about that from anyone?
No, thank you.
Okay,
No.
great. All right. Well, if you do have any questions or you'd like a status update on the decision, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to field any of those inquiries. And otherwise, good luck with the project. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you all for being here, and we are adjourned.
Great, thank you.